favorable for a mid-latitude storm to develop, a nor'easter, a low-pressure system. There you need that, as we said earlier, the warm and cold air to clash, and you want an unstable atmosphere from top to bottom. We're what I like to call the Jersey squeeze play. We've got the perfect location for these storms because we've got sources of warmth, we have sources of moisture, we have sources of cold, and even some damp, cold moisture. So we're right there in the battle zone. We don't make a lot of our own weather here in New Jersey. We import it from clashes from the north, from the south, and even some that meet across the continent or out in the Pacific and come to visit us. So we're in a prime location here in the Northeast to get these storms, as we'll see with the map I show in just a little while. This is a really complex diagram up above. You ought to see it if you start moving things around. But the reason I show it is to indicate that there is this mix of cold and warm and at different levels of the atmosphere. And you even mix some dry air in that helps things lift through the atmosphere. And you bring your warm air up. And notice those are no fronts. The blue lines with the sharp triangles are cold air coming in this direction and warm air coming in that direction. So that's the energy for these storms. They want to spin up. They want to come across the Rocky Mountains and have a spin put on them and start coming across the country. The air wants to come off the coast and run into the very warm, where are we? Gulf Stream. And that drier air and cold air coming off the land is going to run into that warm, moist Gulf Stream waters and spin up into a major nor'easter. It might happen in the Gulf, it might happen up the coast. So there's what you have. You have some cold air to the north, some warm air to the south, but they hit that mountain, they hit that coast, and they get a little spin to them. And you begin to have warm air come in where the cold air was, and cold air come in where the warm air is, and the next thing you know, you've got a storm spun up. And where the warm air is coming north, you've got rain and maybe some snow up here. Where the cold air is coming down, meeting the warm air, you might have some thunderstorms. Right around the low, you've got strong winds, heavy rains, and that's that mix of all different kind of conditions, from a steady rain to a raging storm to thunderstorms with tornadoes as that cold air sweeps in behind the storm as it moves through. Storm. So next, remember I told you the Northeast was kind of a magnet for these storms. And we've got storms that form down in the Gulf and up along the coast that come up towards the Northeast. Lows spin off the Colorado Rockies. Lows spin off the Canadian Rockies. And they all tend to have eyes. Now, if you're up at Mount Washington and getting a lecture, they'll talk about how they all converge up around Mount Washington. That's why they have such winds and such amazing weather up there. But we're not all that far away from that. We can get storms from all different directions converging on the Northeast over the course of primarily the winter season. And by winter, we can get a nor'easter, a coastal storm, a good low pressure area in November. And we can get them, we can even get them, I remember a July 4th nor'easter 20 years ago or so. But they tend to basically concentrate in the months of November through about April. And that's where you've got a lot of cold air on the continent. You've got the very warm Gulf Stream that keeps pumping warmth and moisture up here. And that provides all the ingredients for this battle to take place. Once you get into the summer, the polar regions get kind of mild and the southern reaches stay warm, but you don't have that clash of temperature that you do during the winter. Therefore, you lose your energy, and the storm track kind of lifts up into Canada and weakens. But as the cold air starts advancing here in the fall, and it's still summer-like temperatures to the south, you know, it's open season for coastal nor'easters.